Good day and welcome this morning on this lovely Wednesday morning to the Midweek message. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen in. We're in this Lenten season. We continue with Easter just around the corner, and the title of the message today is called One Day, and it's from Luke chapter 5 from verse 1. One day, as Jesus was standing by the Sea of Galilee, the people were crowding around him and listening to the word of God. Well, a year ago, we knew very little about COVID-19, but because of the huge impact it's had on our lives and all of people all around the world, we are now pretty well informed. And we remember that Thursday, the 5th of March, well, when the Institute of Communicable Diseases in South Africa confirmed that the suspected case of COVID-19 had in fact taken place in the country. And so the journey began. One day, everything changed for us. A new era began. So this new era for some people has been economically crippling and relationally absolutely devastating. For others, there's been some opportunity for good quality time with family at home and also some economic recovery. So whatever your current circumstances may be at the moment during this Lenten season, today's message, today's story, this gospel story where we meet Jesus once again, has particular relevance to where you are, because it starts with one day. One day, just as one day many things can change for the worse, so one day, unexpectedly, things can have an upturn in our lives. So this story continues that Jesus was at the water's edge, and he saw two boats left there by the fishermen who were washing their nets. He got into one of the boats, the one belonging to Simon, and asked him to put out a little from shore. Then he sat down and taught the people from the boat. So here's an opportunity to have another Lenten focus. Notice how the Word of God is central to this story. The gathered people were listening to the word of God, and Jesus, the living word, was teaching them from this boat. So how do you think the fishermen felt just as Jesus was teaching? And they were busy washing their nets after this long night of hard work, and it had been fruitless fishing. So do you think they were attentive? Were they maybe lethargic? Or were they hopeful? Maybe you feel one of those emotions yourself right now. What do you think was going on through Simon's mind as Jesus used his boat for a pulpit? Do you think he felt happy? Was he uncertain? Or maybe did he feel privileged? So as was often the case, then Jesus moved from the general to the specific, from the crowds to the individual. That's what he does for us as well. Luke 5 verse 4, when he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into the deep water and let down the nets for a catch." Simon answered, "Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything. But because you say so, I will let down the nets." So some more reflections then. Why do you think Jesus gave this instruction to Simon? Maybe to give Simon something for using his boat, or so they could put his teachings into practice. What do you think? In the text it says, "Master, we have toiled all night," or "we've worked hard all night." So this particular ancient Greek word Luke uses for master, epistata, is unique to Luke's gospel. The word has the ideas commander, leader, or even boss. So what was Peter demonstrating by using this title? David Guzik, when he writes on this passage, he said that Peter could have come up with any possible number of excuses. These are the excuses he lists, so maybe you can relate. I've worked hard all night and I'm tired, and here's Jesus giving me a command. I know a lot more about fishing than a carpenter does. The best fishing is at night, not in the daytime. All these crowds and loud teachings have scared away the fish. We've already washed our nets, so why would we go out again? Jesus may know religion, but he doesn't know fishing. So think for yourself, which of these possible above excuses do you think you may have made? And does this perhaps reveal some deeper truth about your relationship with Jesus and my relationship with Jesus? What excuses would I give? So take some time to write down your truthful responses and perhaps some of the deeper underlying issues. Why, when Jesus commands, when he speaks to us from his word through his Holy Spirit, why do we respond in particular ways? So back into the text then. When they had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. So they signaled their partners. I just love this part of the passage. In other boats to come and help them. And they came and filled both boats so full that they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw this, he fell at Jesus' knees and said, "Go away from me, Lord. I am a sinful man." For he and all his companions were astonished at the catch of fish they had taken. And so were James and John, the sons of Zebedee, Simon's partners. So again, let's consider, what does the story verify about tough obedience? What does the story reveal about work that is directed by Jesus, and perhaps hard work that is not directed by Jesus? So we tend to separate the sacred from the secular, work from worship. So why do you think this is? And what does the story teach about this contradiction, this dichotomy that we have? So this story is certainly about God's love, his mercy, and his abundant provision for ordinary people. He gave them an amazing catch of fish, which when they were exhausted and the conditions for fishing did not look good at all, they didn't look favorable. But it would be wrong for us to miss this final and most important part of the story. Here it is, verse 10. Then Jesus said to Simon, "Don't be afraid. From now on you will fish for people." So they pulled their boats up on shore, left everything, and followed him. So friends, when we experience the hand of God in our lives, it is so that we will become his followers, become his disciples, become his apprentices. Just as one day many things can change for the worse, so too one day, meaning any day, this day, today, life can take a significant and unexpected upturn. That is what happened for a couple of ordinary fishermen for whom the fish were not biting and their bank balances were in the red. So what will your decision be today? Shall we pray? Father of grace and mercy, as we have listened to your word today, instill within us a deep knowledge of your love and your unchangeable purpose for all our lives, to be your followers, to be your disciples, to be your apprentices, to bring you honor and to worship you, to turn away from our sin. Please guide us in all our endeavors today, that we may follow your way of faithfulness and fruitfulness. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you and have a wonderful day.